Hello world, welcome to the RNR podcast. So glad you are here.
Hello world and welcome back to R&R Does Stuff. And let me tell you, we did some stuff. We did a lot of stuff. We did so much stuff in a little bit of a couple days. We got a big adventure episode. Ryan, launch us. Where did we go? Where is this episode going?
We went to my other coast. We went out to Sacramento. And it was an amazing time out there in Sacramento. It's the first time I've been there. And we went for one of my bucket list items. I wanted to go to a big Amiga only convention. That's where we went. We went to AmiWest 2025.
We did, and dear listener, this was not on my bucket list. This is one of those moments that you say, you're my boy. You're my brother from another mother, and I'm here to support you. And I came along. And let me tell you, my expectations, folks, were way down low. The greatest thing that was going to happen for me is I was hanging out with my homeboy for the weekend. That to me, that's 100% what I wanted, right? But the idea of the show, I was really low on expectations, and it really delivered. It did so. Maybe I said that wrong, Ryan. I had my expectations very low, and it blew the doors off my expectations. It was an awesome time. From Sacramento to the show, it was. I came back. I couldn't. I like just word vomited all over Sarah. I was like, "Oh my God, you won't believe this!" Blah 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 blah. Dude, what'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. I had no idea what to expect. I had no clue. I mean, it's 40 years. This was the 40th anniversary of the Amiga being released. So 40 years later, and some number of years after Commodore actually went bankrupt, and now they're rising from the ashes, but that's a different story. This is an Amiga show for a computer that hasn't been created in years. It was amazing. People are so friendly. The event itself as a whole was awesome, and we're going to get into some details. But I got out there a little before you did. So I got to go be a tourist in Sacramento. It's like, yeah, if I'm going out there, never been there before, let's go do stuff. So I like trains. So I went to the train museum in Sacramento. Seemed great. Oh my gosh, this place is huge. It's actually a California state park, which I thought was very interesting.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? And they have so many large trains all housed indoors. But they had a couple on the second floor too, which I thought was very interesting. But it's just like large engines, just huge, massive engines, sleeper cars, dining cars. The sleeper car you went into, and it had it set up so it felt like you were actually riding the rails in this car. It vibrated a little bit.
Dude, are you kidding me? This might be the only museum I've ever heard of that you're seeing engines inside, and you're telling me the sleeper cars and all this were inside too?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of them. They were all over. I just can't even fathom it. It's just so much. I kept going in. I'm like, oh, this is kind of neat. You go around a corner, and they're talking about the times and, the times of that time. We have a lot of Chinese came over to help build a lot of these railroads and all of the, the challenges that they had. And you go around this corner, and there's got to be 3, 4 engines, 6 large rail cars, all inside. And then you can see some upstairs. Like, how did they get that train up there? Which the building slanted, so they rolled it in the back. But there's a ramp up the back that they pull. It was just crazy. I don't understand. So
I saw the pictures, everyone. It was truly beautiful. And I'm sad I didn't get in early enough to join you on that one, because that sounds like a bucket list item too.
Yeah, it was really, really neat. I'm so impressed with their museum. I now understand why it's a state park. talking to some of the guys, they like move stuff in and out over time. It's partnered with you can actually take a 6 mile rail trip around. Unfortunately, it was closed when we got there. We came in after a season. It was just nuts. So
Okay. I'm just having a brain flash. I don't think I put this together when we were together. Is this the location where the west to east railroad started? Was Sacramento like where the big train thing started to join our country?
yes, that was
Oh,
the west side. Yeah, the west coast, west side.
oh,
The
this
west coast.
makes so much more sense now. Why it's such a state park and everything. I can't
Yeah.
believe I didn't put that together. Just me being dumb, everyone.
No, it's all good. They had little placards on the wall inside. It says, "Hey, this is where it started." Blah blah blah. It was really really neat. And what's also cool in this place is, when they all came together, they had the big thing, and they drove the golden spike into the rail
Oh,
line.
yes, I remember. I learned about that. The Golden Spike.
Correct. So apparently they made two golden spikes, but there wasn't known for the first 100 years that there was a second one. The family made two of them. I guess the original one is in Stanford. They got all the press or whatever and had pieces cut off of it. You know how that goes for. So this is the second one that the family kept that looked just like the first one, and it's in this museum. So that was great. Not only did they have large trains, they had that third floor was all a lot of, the couple bigger trains I talked about, and a ton of model railroads. And you get to play with them and start engines, and they'd go around and hit a little button, and it was really neat. And a lot of really cool models set up. They did really good with this. Highly recommend the place. If you're ever in Sacramento, and you just got to go. It's really neat. It's huge. There are people in there. You could ask questions. Went up into an engine that they had. And I guess they created a little over 200 of these engines where they put the normal steam engine. You have the big front, and then everybody sits in the back, right?
Yeah.
So this one, that was a problem because they had so many tunnels that the smoke from the steam engine would just, fill the tunnel, and engineers couldn't see. So they worked with the manufacturer. They modified them and then built others that they put the engineers up front, in front of the smokestack, instead of in the back. And then they had all the boiler and stuff behind it. You get to go in the front of that engine. Apparently, It's the only one surviving of the 200 and some they made. And it is not a small train.
That is cool. Again, folks, I did get to join Ryan after this. And so when we dropped off with the Uber, I was right, or no, we went to go pick up right beside it. It literally is right beside Old Town Sacramento. So when Ryan says, if you get there, you can find this super easy.
Yeah, it's super easy to find. There's a ton of stuff. While, I'm sending you pictures while you're flying in, I'm wandering around looking at trains going, check this out. And you're looking at them on the plane. It's awesome. So you landed. I took a break while you got down because you had to go to the hotel, drop stuff off, and then you came down. I found this neat little place called Vampire Penguin. Just a random place there that had ice cream. But for those that know, I don't do dairy. So it had this, it's like a cross between ice cream and an icy in this powdered form.
What?
Yeah, it was really good, actually. Some West Coast thing, and they have really neat cartoons and all kinds of stuff. So I was just kind of chilling, waiting for you to get there while and watching people watching while I'm sitting outside.
And unbelievably, we all had very good flights there and back. I know a lot of people are having ATC issues and TSA issues and delays, and Ryan and I just rolled 20s on the D20. We did really good. Well,
I rolled a 16. I had about a 2-hour delay on the way out, so it was fine. We were waiting for a plane to.
But when I caught up with you, it was after Vampire Penguin, and then we went and checked out basically a nice little walk around
Yeah.
Old Town Sacramento. There was a riverboat that had a restaurant inside of it that looked pretty swanky. We did not eat there, folks. We just walked on the riverboat and walked around. I mean, they made it to where you can come out there and just walk around the perimeter, and it's a hotel too, right?
Yeah, the hotel. It's crazy. And then when we went to the other side, we're like, what are these people looking at? Remember what we saw?
Sea lions. They had
Sea
sea lions. They were playing in the water, chasing each other, sitting up on their bit of pier on the other side. So it was really neat. It was like this is a great trip already.
Yeah, it's like they're loud. They were just having fun doing whatever sea lions do, and we're being tourists doing what tourists do.
Oh yeah, and we totally tourist. We did we did an old school shooting gallery, not with little BBs or bullets. What were those guns?
Like laser taggers.
Yeah, like light guns. Yeah, they were like light guns, and you hit the little target, and then something happens. It like kicks off a pneumatic, and so a deal happens. And I know we did like $3, but man, we had so many shots. It was crazy.
That was great. Yeah, you hit a little can, and the can goes up the thing, or it was a good time.
Yeah, the bird made noise or something came out of a can. It was very old school, and that whole area was very rustic and kind of had that old West feel. So the shooting gallery fit in perfect for walking around.
Oh yeah, it definitely, this Old Town Sacramento really had the Old West feel to it by how the building's decorated and everything. We got some good pizza.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes. I wish I knew the name of the place, but I forgot the name of the place. But it was a tasty little pizza pie.
It's like, was it Frankie's maybe, or Frank's Pizza? We put a link in the show. We're putting a link in the show notes of Old Sacramento that lists all the restaurants and all the stuff right around there. So go explore if you go out there. Highly recommend it.
Well, we were exploring. You found that really cool place with the dungeon thing under it. I can't even say the thing what it was. Where did we go? What was that place?
Well, it's like the touristy curio shop kind of thing, and you're going in, and you're like, oh, check this out. There's like Disney themed stuff, and then we found this spiral staircase going down. It had stuff from Disney, like framed old tickets, maps.
Cell.
I think there was
from
a
animation.
bench.
It had a wheel from one of the trains you could buy.
Yeah, I think there was a door too to the monorail.
It was so nuts. I swear it reminded me of someone who probably was this is what I said to Ryan. I bet you someone was a collector of all this Disney stuff. And then they said, you know what? I'm going to open a store and sell some of these things so I can buy more things. And they created this store because it was completely eclectic. The amount of Disney things that were vintage, that were new, that were from production, that were from the parks. It was just a really neat shop. The prices also reflected all the rarity and the common. There were some things that were very inexpensive, and there were some things that were super expensive. And that was a really cool place where we found the door. There was a door in there.
Yeah, we're like, look at it. Why is there a door? Are we supposed to open this?
It kind of looked like Harry Potter. Remember, it kind of had like some runes on it. And it's just in the back corner of this place, just this random door. And we could hear people on the other side.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It's like, what's going on over there? I finally decided I'm going to open this thing and peek. So I just opened it a little bit. There's a brick wall behind the door, which I thought was really funny to start with. Like, why is there a brick wall? Okay. But then there's a sign. What did the sign say?
Dude, it had a little QR code. I don't remember what the sign said. Darn it. I know we followed the QR code because we opened the door. Ryan opens a little and gets it all the way open, and there's a brick wall. But it's a fake brick wall, folks. It's obviously textured material that looks like it could move. And then we noticed the noise sounded like it was canned, like it was noise of people talking and stuff, but it was canned on a loop kind of feedback. What did the sign say? I remember the QR code. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was how to get in to that door. The QR code took you to a place, It's a speakeasy on the other side. So it's very Disney themed. I don't remember the name of the place, but I did watch a YouTube video of inside of it, like an intro. Apparently, it just opened like a month or two ago.
And you had to make reservations, and it
did.
cost about $100. And
Yes.
Ryan and I just weren't up to spending $200 to go see what was on the other side of the fake brick wall. But
Correct.
you know, maybe another day.
It looked really neat from what the demos I saw online. So that was pretty sweet. But what did we go do after this?
Oh, we did spend some money.
We did.
The money we spent, we were, you know, if you've listened to some of our other adventure episodes, we usually end up at a comedy club whenever Ryan comes to McKinney.
Yes.
Oh, I shouldn't dox myself. Everyone's going to find out where I live. But anyways, whenever he comes down to visit, we saw a comedy club in Old Town Sacramento. So it was starting at 7, and I think it was like 6:45 or 6:50. So we just signed up and went, man. We sent it, and boy, we had a great time. It was probably 5-6 times the size of my little comedy club. It was actually pretty darn big. They had the same rule of, you know, have a couple drinks, and you got to buy a couple things, right? So it's $25 to get in. You got to buy a couple things. And you get to see they had 3 comedians on this stage. What did you think about the talent?
I think it was pretty good. I also thought it was pretty funny. Like after we had the intro, the local MC, right? And then she introduced another guy, and I think they were good. I think they got better as the night progressed. But after this, you know, the second guy, you're like, oh yeah, I guess that was good. And then the MC comes back out and says, oh, we've got another guy. So it was good.
We both got picked on. We both got picked on. We were second row back, but there was no one in the first row. So second row is the first row. And the one comedian, man, they did a great job really kind of picking on a lot of people. And that young couple, that poor young couple at the end of the bar. Yes. They just had such a good time with them, from how long they've been together and that they're not married, and then this and that and the other. But it is fun that they did give us a little bit of a ribbing, and we enjoyed the little bit of a ribbing.
It was a good time. It was a good, memorable experience. So that was a good dumb luck. I think the talent was good. No regrets about any of that. So that was a good use of our time, and we did a lot of laughing.
And then we went to where James wished he would have came along with us. If James would have been with us on this trip, he would have enjoyed this. Larry would have enjoyed this also. I think we sent Larry pictures. And we did. And I can't remember if we sent James a picture or not. But anyways, where did we wrap our night up? In Old Town Sacramento before we got to sleep.
We found, I think it was called Capital Pinball.
Yeah.
It was amazing. You know, we show our age a little bit there when we got there, but we had an awesome time. It's like we pay a price for a certain time.
They gave us a discount because I'm so old. She looked at me and goes, I don't mean to be assumptive, but are you over 50? Because we have a discount. And I was like, as a matter of fact, I am over 50 and I'm covered in gray hair, so it's okay.
Correct. She just kind of looked at us. We're like, yeah, okay. Busted. But we had a good time. I mean, they probably had, what do you think, 20, 30 machines maybe?
Yeah, not the biggest. You know, when we look at some of the places we've been, it is not the biggest, but it was quality. All the machines were in great shape and worked so well.
Yeah, everything was awesome. We were just kind of wandering around. I don't know. My favorite, I think, was the Scooby-Doo one.
Yeah.
But man, was that pinball machine hot. That ball was flying.
Oh, I could barely keep my eyes on it. And I wasn't even drunk, folks. It was just going that fast. They had a pinball tournament going at the same time.
Yeah.
So I guess they do that all the time. They have little tournaments there.
Yeah, they had I think there were little 3D printed trophies and stuff they were going to give away. We were like, we were there about an hour, a little over an hour. We're like, yeah, the time zone difference, and then the show starts tomorrow, and we bailed after that. But that was an awesome way to end that evening, for sure.
So when we got back, we did explore just a little bit. And remember, my expectations are very low at this point for the show. We kind of walked back where we thought maybe the show was going to be because we were in the same hotel. And then we saw the door was open. And there were people finishing setup and talking. And so we kind of poked in real fast and poked out. And it was really small. It was like a small ballroom split in half.
Yes.
Half of it was for speakers, and the other half was for exhibits. I'm going to say 30 tables. Would you say 30 tables, Ryan?
In that range. We can look it up. I think
could be a little
30.
bit bigger, could be a little bit smaller, but I don't think it was smaller. But let's say 30 tables. So we left, went back to our room, and I went, in my brain, I went, let's see how tomorrow turns out. And then we went to bed.
Yes. Because we thought of, I walked in for a minute, looking, I was like, ooh, what's going on? And you stopped me. It's like, hey, let's just go for the surprise tomorrow. And that was 100% the right call. I didn't want to spoil anything. We didn't really know anybody at that point, but boy, did that change.
Oh yeah. So we got up, got breakfast at the hotel. Yeah, we had breakfast at the hotel.
The hotel was great.
Yeah, hotel was great. Oh yeah, the hotel was awesome, and the location was really good. And then we made our way down and immediately jumped into some presentations. They had, Ryan, you're going to be able to, like Kevin and Connor and Chris and Dale, they had lined up for this event. I'm just going to say like Amiga royalty, right? Would you kind of put it that way?
Yeah, they were original developers, original hardware guys, original. This was the Amiga 40th, right? And a lot of this worked out because Amiga created in California, so they're all out there.
Yeah.
So before Commodore bought Amiga, it was all developed in California. So it was great. So there must have been 5, 6 of the original employees out there, which was fantastic.
Now, Kevin, I believe his name was, right? At the end of his talk, did an incredible thing.
Carl?
He got done. Was it Kevin when he got done with his talk? Carl. See, I'm messing it all up. See, I told you I needed you. Carl got done with his talk and did an amazing thing. He had about 4 tubs on the front row. And, he referred to a few of the things and used them as demo during his talk. Like, hey, this was from this time. This was blah, blah, blah. But at the end, he started asking questions. And as people would answer them, he would distribute his leftover loot from his years at Amiga. Oh, my gosh. It was crazy, everyone. I got this really awesome shirt. Ryan got a really awesome shirt. I think mine says here, it says, we made the Amiga and created cool computing. And I have no idea what year this shirt is from, but it's from a long time ago. And it was just, here you go. He's like, I got all this stuff in my basement. I just needed to go someplace else. And it was really cool of him to do that. I think he had the original source code from something. What was that? That big book of code.
Oh, the original source code from the exec, which is the kernel of Amiga, because he was the guy that wrote it.
Yeah, and it was all tractor feed printer paper inside of one of those big binders. And I think the person he gave it to also had some computing museum, so it's going to find its way into a good place. So things that were like T-shirts ended up with me. Things that were like truly part of Amiga history ended up with some key people in the audience for it to kind of be preserved and live on.
Yeah, definitely. He wrote a book, a guru book, way back when, and he found a box of them. So I ended, that guru guide.
I got one too. I got a guru guide also.
So I got 2. One he signed for me, and then one I got to disassemble. So I've sliced the binding off at this point, and I'm going to scan it all. And he gave me his contact information, and we're going to get it PDF'd and posted with some, he said it was fine, but I want to get some written stuff to attach with it that said, yep, it's fine to do this. So that's in my future workflow
I can't
to
wait
have
to
that
see
done.
that. I can't wait to do that. That's really neat. You're getting to help the community out like that and get that taken care of for someone. Because, Carl has a lot of things to do in his life too, right?
Correct.
And if you have more of the ability to do that for him and get that out for everyone, this book is from 1988. This new old stock that we got was published in 1988. Isn't that cool?
It is super cool. I actually started doing some initial scans before this recording. I messed them up, so I got to start over. But that's okay. Now I understand what I did wrong. So it's coming. It's just, hopefully soonish. But we'll put something. We'll come back and we'll talk about it. We'll put it in show notes of probably a future episode when we actually get it out there. I want to get this out. It looks like it's a lot of internals from the Amiga exec, how things work. He made a comment that people use it as a very good book on learning about embedded programming, even today, because the Amiga was resource constrained since from 1984, 85. So it'll be really good. I'm really looking forward to it.
That's cool. That was really neat. That was a great, and that wasn't just the only great presentation. There were so many that were just interesting about the Amiga.
Yeah, we have he did a history of the Amiga. Again, a lot of the original devs were there. You have Trevor Dickinson talking about the Amiga NG, which is the next generation, because he's big into that with Amiga OS 4. I'm still stuck. My swim lane is Amiga OS 3, which is the classic Amiga.
Yeah.
So the difference is the Motorola 68000 series stuff versus the NG, which is going to be your PowerPC based.
And we saw Dale again. We saw Dale Luck.
We did.
Yes, he was Joshua. I remember meeting him and seeing him out at VCF Midwest.
Correct.
And he brought with him the goods again.
He did. He brought the original wire-wrapped hardware. They were all there. Right. It looked great. I have some photos with him and a couple of other guys standing behind it that I took out there. It was super cool to see all of that together. So very, very happy to see that. I talked with Dale. So Dale brought some original units they had before the operating system, before the file system was actually completed. So those wire wrapped, the 3 chips were put into early silicon. So they actually had a box. They had several of these dev kits, and several meaning a couple of these dev kits that had the silicon in it that they could actually start programming against the actual Amiga customs before the file system was done and before the Amiga OS would boot, so they could actually do some development with. And he had 2 of them out there. One was working and did a little demo on the debug. Like, hey, I can go, run this thing. You can put it in debug mode and see what's going on in memory and what's in the chips. It was really, really cool to see that.
And these were off in the booth area, folks. So this is it's a kind of a good transition point that we went through the booth area. And again, just like every expo, great setups of people showing off, what they've been working on or what they're doing and new things. Everybody, when you would catch someone at their table, where you could chat and kind of see what they were up to. And I can only say it was great conversation, and with the intimacy of the event. I think this is going to be the right word, the intimacy of the event, because there just wasn't thousands of people there. You really had good conversations. There wasn't a lot of background noise. There was background noise, but there wasn't a lot. And people would go see a presenter and then come back to their booth. And everything was just so close that I had a great time walking around seeing what everybody did. There were obviously things for sale, so we watched it from booths. That was obviously something that happened too. What did you think of walking around the booth area?
I really enjoyed it. People had some really neat demos. Gino set up his Amiga stuff with the 3DO, which is a lot of the Amiga people went to go to the 3DO after Commodore went bankrupt in that range. So he had some 3DO stuff there. One of the Amiga OS 3.3 testers was there. He had Amiga OS 3.3, which is not out at this point, but he had it running on a machine. There were people fixing stuff. They were like, hey, this thing doesn't work, and they're digging into it. They have like screwdrivers and things, and they're trying to make some Amigas come back to life. I've seen a couple of those places. It was just really neat seeing the community active, vibrant, happy to talk to you, and to learn just about other people, what are other people doing, and just it was amazing.
And I'm going to say, I'm putting in the show notes for everybody how to jump over and see Gino's YouTube channel. I think Beyond the Boing. He had quite a few videos from the event. I think he went live a few times. He did some SD work at the event, and he had a couple booths dedicated. And I know playing his 3DO stuff was pretty amazing. That was there, and he comes back later in the story of our adventures.
He definitely does. So we did that. Now we're rolling into Sunday because the time went super fast. They had a dinner that we went off site for Saturday night, which was really, really cool. So now you get to go sit down, and we sat across from Dale Luck, had some conversations. Mark, I can't think of his last name, but he was from New Tech, gave us a ride over to the dinner. So it's just everyone there, and so it's a very intimate event, which is really, really neat. So Sunday we had the raffle.
Oh yeah. So like Midwest, free attendance, right? It didn't cost you anything to come. You just had to sign up and be part of things. One of the things they do is a raffle, and so they have a board up, and that board had about 15 things on it, and you would buy tickets. And those tickets would go, and you would take your raffle ticket and say, I want to be in this raffle. I want to be in that raffle. You could buy your tickets and shove them all on one thing if you wanted to really help ensure you won that one thing that was up for raffle. Obviously, people donate stuff. And so all the proceeds go back into this organization to allow them to continue doing such amazing work. Kind of like maybe Midwest with their auction that they have there at their environment. I kind of forgot your original question. Did we win anything at the raffle? Is that what you asked?
Yes, I did.
We did. We sat at the high rollers table. We didn't know it was the high rollers table till we sat down. I brought out my paltry 10 tickets or something. I don't know. I just said, here's some, give me this. I'm going to throw in some stuff and put some money in the pot. Ryan had quite a few more than me. And then the gentleman on the side of me had quite a few more than Ryan. And then the gentleman across from us had quite a few more than the gentleman beside me. So there were a whole lot of raffle tickets at our table. Gosh, I won. I won some USB 9-pin connectors for joysticks. And I was like, what? I can't believe I won something. And then after I win something, Ryan, what happened to you?
I won. It's a product called Kick Smash, which I wanted. I didn't even know it was going to be there. It's for the big box Amigas, like the 3000, 4000. Well, I got one for my 4000 tower. You know the ROMs change periodically, so this replaces it with a modern ROM recreation. It'll hold 8 ROMs, and you can flash it from the Amiga, switch it from the Amiga, program it outside on a Mac, on Linux. It's cool. I was like, oh, that's what I want. So that's fantastic. I put stuff in some other things, but this is the most used for anything I would actually use. So I was super excited about that.
I died laughing. I was like, how great is this? We come here for this thing. And by the way, I'm on cloud 9 by this time, and I have to leave right after the raffle to get to my airplane. And then we win something in the raffle, which is just fun to win, right? It's just neat to be part of something and have a winning ticket. There were lots of winners. There were lots of things that we did. I want to say 15 at least. So everyone had a good time. Lots of clapping going on. I think Gino did the MC work for that.
Yes.
And, we did buy some other things. As I was there, I got a couple books. I got a manual for silent service out of the club area, and that's another thing they do. Gino was explaining these are club books, so I bet they sell them here to make money to probably put into the pot again, right? So I picked up some of those items to kind of keep things going in that direction. I also got an upgrade for my Amiga 500.
Oh
I
yeah.
got the 1 meg upgrade module. So it's a new item, not a old stock. It's a new creation of it on a PCB, and I need to put it in. So that's coming up for me. I also found from the club area this amazing cartridge expansion unit with manual.
Yes.
And I'm telling y'all, this is the weirdest thing I've seen. It plugs into the back of your C64, and then you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional cartridge slots. And there's dip switches, and I just have a feeling you can probably, I have to test it still. I haven't even read the manual. I have a feeling you probably set it up to where you can access different carts all at the same time, or maybe not having to swap carts. I don't know. I can't wait to try this and see what the hell it is. But that was a neat pickup. I also grabbed some more Commodore goodness. I've got 2 model 1311 Commodore joysticks in box, in bag. So definitely new old, not new old stock, but old stock that I'm sure, kind of deal. Need to test them, but I have a feeling they might work. If not, I got content, right? If that doesn't work. And,
Yeah, really.
And I walked away with some books from the book club area. I got a couple manuals for Flight Sim. And Gino came back. And by the way, I bought those Flight Sim books. And Ryan goes, oh, those are the Flight Sim books I took from your house. So I bought books I already bought. But I bought them in a big lot and shared them with Ryan. So, it's all good in the hood. It's fun stuff all around. And then Gino comes back into the picture. He's wrapping up on the last day, and he has an SX64, and he's got a really weird SX64. The back, he called it a prototype. He had an email that went with it from the guy he bought it from. It doesn't have any labeling on the back. All the ports, the back plate has no labeling. It's bizarre, and because it was an early unit, I guess, and it was there. It was cool. I loved it. I'm getting on a plane. I got to go. Brian,
Yeah, definitely.
What happened next?
Well, he had it for a price, and you're like,
It was too much for me at the beginning. Yes.
Yeah, I walked around later, and he lowered the price, and I'm like, oh, So of course, Rich is at the airport, and I'm like, hey, that SX64, because I'm there till Monday morning, right? So I'm there for the evening and did all, stuck around, no big deal. And he lowered the price. I said, hey, he just lowered the price to this. Are you interested? And you're like, oh, maybe, yeah. And of course, then we had to ship it because
that was the key. Will he ship it too? And correct. Gino said, heck yeah, I'll ship it too. So of course added, some cost for shipping. And Gino took care of us. So there is another SX64 coming to my house. Instead of all the broken ones I have, or half-working ones, I now will have a complete working SX64. That's awesome because it's prototype and different than everyone else's. And I am super stoked because it even came with the little Commodore bag that has all the little extras. It's a complete, beautiful unit is all I can say. So Gino, if you're hearing this, or if anybody knows Gino, or go to his channel, like and subscribe, and thumbs up all his videos because he was really cool to Rich.
Oh, he was really cool in general. He was great. I can't talk, say enough good things about him. He was like making sure we were doing all right.
Yeah, we met so many nice people, man. As I'm wrapping up on my time there, from Brian to all the folks we just sat and chatted with, it was just really nice people all around. I walked away with such a good feeling. I told Ryan when I got back home, and I told Sarah that it's one of those that I'm sitting there going, do I really ever want to go back? Because that memory was so good. I talked about my friend who went to NASCAR, and he got to sit right by the pits, like in a special VIP section. And he's like, no, I'm never going back to NASCAR. I can't beat that. I can't beat that memory. I just want that memory. I don't want it to be anything different. That's how good that memory was for me, Ryan, that I came home and went, I don't know if I ever want to change that memory. Now, after another day, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go back and see everybody. And say hi, blah, blah, blah. You know, so it definitely hooked me in. The AmiWest hooked me in. What's your wrap up about the show, man? What do you think?
Oh, I think it was great. I am glad that we had an awesome time. I'm glad we bought all the stuff that we did in a way. My wallet's a little smaller than what it used to be, for sure. This is one show that you actually spent more than I did.
Hold on. We didn't talk about what you bought.
Well, I didn't buy an SX64. I will say that. You went to an Amiga show and bought Commodore 8-bit stuff. That was kind of amazing. That's pretty impressive. I bought 3 more of those Kick Smashes.
That's right.
So I won one, and I'm like, oh, I have more machines that I want to put. I'm tired of burning ROMs. You got to tear the machine apart. I got 3 more, so I have a total of 4. And he had one for my Amiga 4000 Tower, which I'm super stoked about to get that in there. I bought some books. Trevor Dickinson was there, and he had the complete 3 books of Vultures to Vampires. So it's the history of, Commodore and coming back, and it goes to like 2023. So I'm super excited about getting into there. So I picked up those. The book from Carl's amazing. I mean, I didn't buy that, but even doing volunteer trading work to go do that's pretty cool. I know I bought this like a mouse pad, got some people to sign it, like you did with your giant floppy disk. I got this. It was good. I probably bought something else in there too, and I just don't remember what it was. But I really enjoyed the show. I had a lot of fun. The worst part about the show, the 5.5-hour flight to the show.
Yeah.
And back for me.
That's big for you, man. Mine's a lot different. I did, for everybody, I did change my return flight and paid a little more money to be direct because of all the stuff going on. And I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad I did because I had a very simple flight back too.
Yeah, I had a super easy flight back. The best part about the show was the show and meeting new friends. And I flew 2,500 miles to meet a guy that lives 3 miles from my house, which I thought was random. So that was pretty cool. But overall, had an awesome time. Really enjoyed the show. It's something I would probably do again.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's see, folks. Maybe we'll take you along next year for another adventure. I've done nothing retro since the show. Like literally, I haven't even put that module in my 500 yet. Have you had a chance to touch anything? Is this just an adventure episode, or do we have some retro updates?
Mini retro update. I haven't really touched any Amiga hardware, and that's a teaser for the next episode. But from Amiga wise, I did just release, as of this recording, yesterday or the day before, I released the next version of Amail. I got some bug fixes, some memory cleanup, some speed increases, and a settings page redo. So a redesign of how my settings work to make my life easier as I add additional settings in the future. So that was a pretty good update for me. It's out there. I know the voting will have ended by the time this episode drops, so we'll see how that all turns out in our next episode for the Tool Jam.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear how you did in the Tool Jam. This is going to be exciting. I'm glad you joined, and I'm glad you kept with it. I'm very proud of you for that.
Yeah, me too. This has been a challenge, something I always wanted to do, so I'm glad I made it happen. It would have been very easy just to go, nope, this is too hard. But no, we're doing it, and I'm in, and I'm looking for more and more updates. They're going to slow down a little bit as I kind of mix some other things in, so it's not just that. But there'll be more to come. Don't fear. It's going to be a little bit slow.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us on this super episode. I think we're blowing our time frame out a little bit because we just had so much fun at one thing. So everyone, if you made it to the end of this, like, subscribe, send to your friends, send us love mail, just ticky-talkie to us. I don't know, something like that. Otherwise, I'm out, Ryan.
Thank you all for listening to the end, and we'll see you for the next one. I'm glad you enjoyed AmiWest 2025. I know we did.
Bye.